Brasil!
Oi, Brazil!
Eu tô aqui com o Charlie Hunnam no Mercadão. Welcome to Mercadão!
Oh, thank you. This is very exciting to be here.
Yes, this is a very well-known place here in São Paulo. Everybody who comes to São Paulo has to come here.
What are we going to see here?
They have like everything, like fruit, sweets, meat. I know you don't eat meat, right? Me too.
I do eat meat.
Really?
I was a vegetarian for many years of my childhood, from 9 to about 22, and now I just eat meat judiciously. So I'll have a steak maybe 6 or 7 times a year. I'll eat chicken maybe once, maybe twice a month, but I eat fish. For my job, like I always am doing crazy things to my body, either trying to put a lot of muscle on or trying to lose a lot of weight. But I did a film actually that comes out next month in Brazil called The Lost City of Zed, where I had to lose a lot of weight. It actually takes place in part in Brazil, although we didn't shoot here. Yeah.
I'm from Mato Grosso.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so I lost 40 pounds for that film, which is a lot of weight to lose in 10 weeks.
And you just gained weight to do King Arthur, right?
Yeah, exactly. So always up and down. But the big thing that I found is when you cut sugar out of your diet, I mean, you lose weight immediately, but you feel so good. But
Energy.
I love it. I just love sugar. I'm a sugar fiend, so.
Oh, let me show you some fruit here.
Okay, let's do it. What are we gonna have here? I love these. These are my favorite. Yeah, this is my favorite. I'm gonna get some of these before I leave. You like this?
How do you call it? Como chama em português?
Maracuja.
Ah,
Let's see.
amazing. Thank you, my friend.
Okay.
Obrigado.
É um tipo diferente de maracujá. Obrigado.
Obrigado, okay.
Sweet
It's so
or-
good. Not too sweet, but really good.
So what did you do to lose weight very quickly?
Well, I did it really sensibly the first time. I did it twice, 2 times in a row for 2 different films. Once for The Lost City of Zed and once for this other film that I just did called Papillon. The first time I did it, I did jump rope like at least an hour a day. And then I tried to eat no more than about 500 calories. So I would have maybe a half an avocado, a tiny little bit of tuna fish, you know, maybe a little rice and a banana. That was it all day. And then the second time, I just drank black coffee and chain smoked cigarettes. So the first time was a lot healthier
Very
than the
healthy.
second time. Yeah, right?
And I really want you to tell me how was working with Guy Ritchie.
I've never had more fun on a film. You know, it's one of the things that Guy said to me right at the beginning was that, you know, we were trying to make a film that was very energetic and really, really fun and you know, and trying to make the audience laugh. So he said, that's all we got to do. Let's show up every day and have fun ourselves, try to make each other laugh, because if we're making each other laugh, hopefully we'll make the audience laugh. So what they got over here is this is some local booze, huh? Ooh, are we going to have some cachaça?
Do you want to try it?
Yeah, of course.
So-
It's got the old pink Himalayan salt. I cook with this all the time. I love to cook. You cook?
No.
No?
I'm the worst. What do you
Really?
cook?
I cook everything. I used to, for many years when I was a teenager, I worked in a restaurant, an Italian restaurant called La Dolce Vita. So I started off as a dishwasher, and then I moved
grew
up
into-
to the waiter, and then by the time I left there, I was sort of not really assistant chef. My friend was assistant chef, but I'd occasionally make some pizzas and, you know, help with the pastas, and I'd make all the desserts.
And you got into Queer as Folk when you were really young.
When I was 18.
Yes. How was that? Because Queer as Folk was, I think, the first show about homosexuality and gay people, and you were very young.
I was.
How did you prepare for that?
I mean, I didn't know what I was doing at that point, honestly. Like I
just got the
had,
job.
yeah, I just got the job, and really at that time in my career, I would just learn my lines and show up and hope for the best. You know, hope the director would take care of me, and you know, and now as I've gotten older, you know, I never really think of acting as an art form. I think it more of as a craft, like anything else. Like if you were a carpenter, you know, you learn to use different tools and you learn to different techniques as you go on, and you refine your ability to make whatever the product is that you make. And that's how I look at acting. So as time's gone on, the preparation that I do is more and more and more in depth. And really just like whatever you could identify would be most helpful when you're on set. Because when you show up, it's like anyone else. Like you wake up one day, you feel good about yourself, you feel happy, optimistic. Like you know, you feel like you could conquer the world. Other times you feel bad about yourself, or you just don't feel, you know, you're having a bad day. So what you have to do is limit the potential for bad days, because your bad days mean bad scenes, means it's going to be like forever on camera, you know. And so like, for instance, when I did The Lost City of Zed, that film's all about loneliness and the sacrifice you make in your social and personal life for work, ultimately, is the message of the film. And so I wanted to feel lonely, and I wanted to feel selfish, and I wanted to feel that sense of sacrifice. So I turned my computer off, I turned my phone off, I didn't send an email for 4 months, I didn't speak to anybody, not my girlfriend, I didn't make a single phone call in 4 months, send a text message. So every day I like sort of felt that sense of loneliness. So to me, it's just like, do whatever you think will be helpful. But back, to answer your question, back in the days I was doing Queer as Folk, I had no idea what I was doing. So I really just learned my lines and showed up, you know. Oh, you can bring that straight in. Now the all the sensible questions are going to end, and
more?
No, come on.
Whoa.
There you go. All right.
This is really good. Woo! And I have to tell you, I love Pacific Rim.
Oh,
love it.
Great.
I always sing the I sing
Sure.
the song because I love the movie.
Well, I gotta say, I'm really glad you enjoyed it, because it was a nightmare to make.
Really?
Yeah, being stuck in that machinery that we did, it was
You really were stuck.
like we were stuck in it. I would be in there, and it was incredibly heavy, the costume, and then we would get wet, and obviously it would be even heavier, and we were stuck in that machine for hours and hours and hours every day. And then, you know, they would like, it was on what's called a gimbal, which is a platform that's built on a whole hydraulic base, so that the actual platform moves. But when we were doing the fight scenes, Guillermo didn't think they looked violent enough. And so then they would put like ropes on us, and as the robot was in fights and we were supposed to, they would pull me like left and right, and I ended up ripping 3 discs in my back.
I didn't know that.
You know, that's the thing that, you know,
Did you get a raise for that?
everyone always thinks that actors are kind of soft and pampered, and we just go around and drink champagne and go to parties, exactly, eat croissants. But, you know, the reality is, like, you get hurt all the time, and there's so much money at stake that you can't take a day off. I mean, in 20 years, I've missed 1 day of work, you know? Whether you have ripped discs in your back, or, you know, you can't walk, or you have the flu, you got to go to work anyway.
You have to be fun.
You have to be fun and smile and look heroic. So I got to say, that was a tough shoot for me.
So I was wondering, what was your biggest career challenge and how you overcame it?
If I had to think back over my whole career, the biggest single challenge was probably learning to do an American accent, because I grew up in England, but I had always dreamed of having an American career, and so it was very difficult for me to figure out.
And you had to pretend for 7 years in Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, that's really what ended up getting me to the point where I was able to do it, was getting the job on Sons of Anarchy, because, you know, we shot all day, you know, 14 hours a day for about 7 or 8 months of the year. So just the repetition of shooting it over and over and over again, you know. All right, here we go. What are we going to try here? Oh, wow, it's a little
Like
strawberry
a
sandwich.
Yes.
Look at that. Delicious. All right. Thank you.
Is it good? Since you were in Sons of Anarchy, I think sometimes people confuse you with different actors. Do they confuse you a lot with Travis Fimmel from Vikings? Like, Ragnar, and you're like, no, I'm not Ragnar. What do you do?
I gotta tell you, it's so funny that you bring him up. A lot of time in the world, people do. They'll say, "Oh, you're an actor, right?" And I'll say, "Yeah," and they're like, "Oh, I love the show Vikings." I think, "Oh no, that's Travis Fimmel." But I gotta say, we lived in the same neighborhood for about 10 years. We lived about 3 blocks from each other.
So you know him, like in real
I mean, I know him a little bit, not so well, but he's like a little crazier than I am. You know, he loves to have a drink. And I walked into this bar once, and they were like, dude, get out. And I said, what are you talking about? They said, we told you you're not welcome in here anymore. I'm really giving you some gossip now. He said, we're told you're not welcome in here anymore. And I said, I've never been in here before. They're like, dude, stop messing around. Like, get out of here. And then I walked down. I was like, what the heck was that about? And my buddy was like, dude, he thinks you're Travis Fimmel. So
Jeez,
there
so
you
he did
go.
something bad.
So I've been getting.
Do they have his photo outside? Like he's not welcome.
Right, not welcome. I get mistaken for him all the time.
Yeah, but what do you say? Like, no, I don't. Or are you just thank
I
them?
just like whatever. I've signed pictures of him before. Like people come up and be
No
like, "Can
way.
I have your autograph?" I'll be like, "Yeah, sure."
But do you say your real name?
No, I write Travis. I don't want to.
That's amazing.
I don't want to,
Ruin
hurt
their
their
dreams.
exactly.
Yeah.
I don't want to hurt their feelings.
Let's have some
All
beer.
right, let's do it.
Cachaça, beer.
This is the best interview I've done all week.
Yeah, me too.
Cachaça, beer. Look, hey, thank you, my friends. Thank you.
I was wondering who inspires you, because we had another interview and you talked a lot about your father. And who inspires you in real life?
I mean, in real life, I gotta say, my mom and my dad have always been my biggest inspirations. My mom taught me to love, my dad taught me to fight. But in terms of actors, Daniel Day-Lewis has always been my greatest inspiration. But I think that's every young actor. I mean, he's pretty much irrefutably the best actor working.
He can do anything.
He can do anything, and he's always so honest and raw, and yet he brings something like so different to every character. I mean, it's really amazing. Okay, here we go. Hello, my friend.
Essa cerveja da onde?
Essa daqui é aqui de São Paulo mesmo.
It's a beer from São Paulo.
Okay.
So before we have our final drink, I want to know, what are your plans for the future? What do you want to do? Something different that you have never done, like a comedy maybe?
Not so sure about comedy. I did a bit of comedy in the past. I worked with Judd Apatow on a TV show many years ago with Jason Segel and Seth Rogen, a bunch of those guys. Comedy's tough. It's not really like where my passion is, but I just want to keep doing hopefully interesting, original stories and work with good directors. And also, I've been developing a lot, so as a producer and I'm a writer. And so I hope at some point, maybe like 3 or 4 years down the line, to direct a film. I have 2 films I want to direct. One is about gypsy culture in the north of England, and then the other film is about my dad.
I want to make a toast for King Arthur. Rei Arthur vai estrear nesse fim de semana e a gente vai brindar. And invite your friends to watch King Arthur.
Well, I'm Charlie Hunnam here in Sao Paulo, enjoying a beer, talking about King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, that comes out in theaters tomorrow. So I hope you enjoy. Cheers.
Ciao.
Oi, Brasil.
Ciao, Brasil.
Ciao, Brasil. Cheers.
Sorry.
Hey, is it good?
Different.
That's delicious. It's fruity. Cheers.